In this segment, we'd like to explore some possibilities that could develop in the field as it relates to safety, namely hunting conditions where there may be some obstructions. Using a crossbow, oftentimes it's very easy to get involved in the shot and in the shooting and actually experiencing what the animal is doing, not paying attention necessarily to the situation that's around you. So this little scenario that we developed right here would duplicate some very small twigs or some very fine brush. That very likely in a hunting condition, through a scope you may not see them at all. But also, number two, just with your visual perception right here, you think, I can get an arrow through there, not really noticing that your limbs may be coming in contact with that fine brush. Now, the reality is, on brush that's about this big, you likely won't break your crossbow, but certainly you'll probably miss your deer, and you also introduce the possibility that some of this brush could get cut up in the shot sequence, inside your candle, inside your strings, and that's a bad situation for shots that come after that experience. Certainly we don't want you to wound your deer either, so always be conscious of where this brush is. Okay? But the big one that we want to pay attention to that does become a safety concern is when we get into larger obstructions, something of this scale here, about the size of your wrist, where if the limb is touching the crossbow, or in the shot sequence if the limb will touch the obstruction, what will happen is, one, certainly you're going to break your crossbow. Number two, you're going to miss your deer. And most importantly, number three, immediately what you're going to experience is the crossbow will jolt back. It could hit your eye. It could hit your cheek. Also, you run the risk, especially if you're hunting out of a tree stand, that it could jolt you off your balance and you could fall from your tree stand. So being aware of obstructions is very, very important when hunting with the crossbow. So small brush, the concern here is wounding game and missing your deer and subsequent shots after. Large obstructions, that's the real safety concern. So always be aware of where your limbs are in orientation to larger obstructions.